This is Valley News Live at 5:30.
Happening right now, wearing masks in Fargo Public Schools is up for discussion at the school board meeting. That meeting is about to start. The issue was originally brought up 2 weeks ago, but board members delayed an action as they say COVID cases continue to rise. We'll be streaming that meeting on our website, valleynewslive.com. More than 100 stop arm violations were reported by Minnesota school bus companies in the first 15 days of school. According to the State Patrol, there have been 161 violations reported so far, and that's just from 40 of the state's 326 public school districts. The State Patrol says drivers must stop 20 feet from a school bus with its red lights flashing and stop arm extended. New tonight at 5:30, a Valley City woman says her apartment is infested with bed bugs. She says the problem has gone on for several weeks and the bugs are showing no sign of leaving. Valley News Live's JC Dodd spoke with the property manager who says they're doing everything they can.
Well, they have to do something to get rid of the bugs.
Danilda Remick has lived at Rudolph Square in Valley City for 6 years. The place bases rent on income for those 62 and older or those with a disability. In early August, she says she started noticing bites on her ankles and arms.
I went to the doctor that week twice. I went on Wednesday and then I went again on Friday, and I saw another doctor. He's the one that diagnosed it as the bed bugs because I had 4 dots going up on the ankle.
Remick says she immediately filed a report with her property manager, Candy Lukes.
We have had a few units that have had it. We have had exterminators there multiple times.
But Remick says she continues to find bed bugs in her apartment.
They aren't showing any relief when these are just in the end of September.
However, Lukes tells us the exterminator has cleared Remick's apartment while acknowledging bed bugs remain in other units.
Right now we are working diligently to try to get that under control, and it's in 2 units out of 47, so it's not infested in the building at all.
Remick says she just wants relief.
So how long is it going to keep on? I don't know.
In Valley City, JC Dodd, Valley News Live.
That property manager tells us the exterminator is coming again this week for another round of treatments. If you need help with a concern in your community, call our whistleblower hotline. That's 701-237-6576 and leave us your tip. A gas line is under repair in Fergus Falls. The break happened at the intersection of East Vernon Avenue and South Whitford Street. At this hour, it appears homes and businesses in a 1-block radius surrounding that site are still evacuated. Firefighters in Bemidji say the cause of a structure fire was electrical. That happened last night in Grant Valley Township, which is southwest of the city. As you can see in this picture, smoke and flames were coming out of the roof. No one was hurt. Nothing wrong about today's weather. Get out and enjoy it while you can. Let's find out from Nathan about tonight. Nathan?
Yeah, thanks, Stacy. Almost through the first full week of fall. You can see the colors, but the temperatures may not have gotten the memo. Take a look at this beautiful shot from our Devil's Lake Home of Economy Skycam. Those oranges and yellows there, the trees there in the foreground. You can see plenty of sunshine up there in Devil's Lake at this hour as well. So of course we're talking about those temperatures. Look at some of these areas. This was from earlier this afternoon. Hazen, North Dakota, 100 degrees is where those folks in Hazen made it up to. So flat out dangerously hot here as we're going into the last week of September. And then in Grand Forks, that's a new record for you folks there in Grand Forks of 92 degrees, that high temperature there. And then of course zooming this out, seeing those 80s and 90s pretty much for everybody across our region. 89 right now in Fargo, 90 in Jamestown, 91 Devil's Lake. Just as we expected, the best chance of seeing those low 90s was out toward the west and the south of Fargo, Moorhead. But I'll say there could be some backyard thermometers or some car thermometers in Fargo that may also be reading that 90-degree mark here at this hour. So here's what we're looking at for the rest of this evening in Fargo. Skies staying mainly clear for us. The south wind continuing as well, around 15 miles per hour. And that will keep our temperatures mild as well. By, say, 3 a.m., only cooling into those upper 60s and lower 70s. So a mild evening, and there'll be a mild morning tomorrow as well. In Grand Forks, also expecting clear skies and the same kind of picture here with those south winds around 15 miles per hour. But of course, Stacy, Yeah, it is fall. You can see these beautiful colors. This is from Maplewood State Park, but I'll let you know when some more fall-like weather joins us here coming up in a couple minutes.
What a great picture there. Thanks, Nathan.
Yeah.
Trouble for a school superintendent who's at the center of a DWI investigation. Authorities say 55-year-old Michael Gadboy, who is the superintendent at Tri-County Schools in Carlstad, Minnesota, was found nearly 3 times the legal limit in a vehicle on school grounds. If convicted, he faces up to a year in jail. Fargo police are still trying to figure out who fired the bullet that killed a man more than a year ago. They're looking for information on the murder of Santino Marial. That happened August 28th, 2020 in the 1100 block of 44th Street South. If you have any information, there are ways you can submit a tip listed on your screen. You can call 701-241-1405. Text a tip to 847-411, keyword Fargo PD, or submit your tip online under this story at valleynewslive.com. The family of Gabby Petito is speaking out publicly for the first time. The 22-year-old New York native was found dead in Wyoming last week after setting out on a cross-country trip with her fiancé Brian Laundrie. He's still missing tonight and is considered a person of interest in the case. Relatives of Gabby displayed tattoos they got in her honor. Gabby's mom saying she's still with us.
We need positive stuff to come from the tragedy that happened. All right? We can't let her name be taken in vain.
Petito's family held a memorial for her over the weekend in her hometown of Long Island. They're starting a foundation in her behalf to help families of missing children. Authorities are offering up to a $30,000 reward for tips leading to Laundrie. Top U.S. military leaders on Capitol Hill today are in the hot seat, testifying before a Senate committee on the chaotic and deadly withdrawal from Afghanistan. In a candid testimony, top military brass admitting to strategic failures. Alice Barr has the latest from Washington.
Top military leaders facing a grilling today in the Senate Armed Services Committee.
How did this avoidable disaster happen?
They defended the U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan, but offered the rare acknowledgement that it was a strategic loss.
It is obvious the war in Afghanistan did not end on the terms we wanted. With the Taliban now in power.
The chairman of the Joint Chiefs, Secretary of Defense, and head of U.S. Central Command testifying that a full review is underway, including into intelligence failures.
We absolutely missed the rapid 11-day collapse of the Afghan military and the collapse of their government.
Military leaders saying early this year they recommended keeping some 2,500 troops in Afghanistan.
I also have a view that the withdrawal of those forces would lead inevitably to the collapse of the Afghan military forces.
President Biden has denied going against military guidance. His defense secretary testified that maintaining a troop presence would have led to an escalation.
You'd be in a fight with the Taliban, and you'd have to reinforce yourself.
Democrats arguing the president inherited a crisis 20 years in the making.
The seeds for our failure in Afghanistan were planted many, many years ago.
Joint Chiefs Chairman General Mark Milley also defending his own actions in the waning days of Donald Trump's presidency. He's come under heavy scrutiny amid reporting in 3 new books. General Milley today insisting his call to a Chinese counterpart was a routine step to de-escalate the perceived threat of a U.S. strike against China, adding he never intended to usurp the former president's authority.
General Milley said his loyalty to this country and the Constitution will never change. He also said the U.S. made a mistake by setting specific dates for the Afghan withdrawal and pulling out advisors who could have warned about the Afghan military's morale. Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell has blocked the latest effort by Democrats to advance the debt ceiling bill without Republican votes. Senate Majority Leader Charles Schumer sought the unanimous consent of the Senate to bypass the 60-vote threshold required of most legislation to advance to a final vote. However, McConnell said Schumer must pass the debt limit increase with no Republican votes using a different method. The bill would fund the government and extend its credit until December. The deadline to avoid a government shutdown is Thursday. North Dakota's lone Congressman Kelly Armstrong is in isolation after testing positive for COVID-19. He says he's been fully vaccinated since February. Armstrong also says he has contacted friends in Congress and will be casting his votes this week by proxy. Later on Valley News Live at 5:30, some help on the way to deal with the increase in local hospitalizations.
And we've got a lot of beautiful fall colors coming into our website, valleynewslive.com. This one of some sunflowers near Flom. Bruce sent this beautiful picture into our website. But for tomorrow, some changes in the offing, rain and thunder. We'll break down what you can expect for your hump day next.